Welcome everybody to Battlezone 3. This is the Nerdom Championship match as the champion, Ryan Payne, takes on the challenger, Joe Hot Fuzz Farrelly. Guys, let's get to the introduction to round number 1 right now. Introducing first, he is the challenger, Joe Hot Fuzz Farrelly. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's going pretty well. Although I got an issue. See, my waist is okay and this shoulder's okay, but this shoulder's now it's feeling a bit naked. Kind of want my belt back. But if the last match is anything to go by, I have to put up a fight because Ryan fully deserved to win the belt when he took it from me. But now, y'all have seen what I can do when I am completely inebriated. That is not the case tonight.
Oh, okay. So, guys, this is going to be a battle. All right, Joe, I'll explain to you how round number 1 works. This is a speed round, 60 seconds. We'll be on the clock to answer 8 questions, 4 from your strengths and 4 from Ryan's strengths. You cannot use your extension or your challenges in this round. We'll come back in round number 2. The clock will now start after I finish asking the first question. You do have unlimited passes, so if you don't know an answer, go ahead and pass it, and then we will come back to it if we have time on the clock. You understand?
I'm clear.
All right, so if you're ready, we'll start with the very first question, which is, what does Dumbledore leave to Hermione in his will as found out in Deathly Hallows Part 1?
The Tales of Beedle the Bard.
Who plays Quinn, a cocky minion of Frost in Blade?
Donal Logue.
Season 4, Episode 1 of Doctor Who debuted in what year?
Pass.
What 2015 video game movie stars Zachary Quinto and Kieran Hines?
Pass.
How many Trek films featured actor Mark Leonard?
4.
Who does Diane Lane portray in Man of Steel?
Martha Kent.
Who directed The Last Jedi?
Ryan Johnson.
Who does Spider-Man give the gauntlet to in the final battle of Avengers Endgame?
Pass.
Series 4, Episode 1 of Doctor Who debuted in what year?
2008.
What 2015 video game movie stars Zachary Quinto and Kieran Hines?
Pass.
All right, that is time.
Just needed to refresh the years.
All right, guys. So
we need to go through it quickly.
We will take Joe out and bring his opponent right now. And his opponent, he is the current Nerdom champion of the world, Caramel Mountain, Ryan Payne. How's it going, man?
I am burdened with glorious purpose, as I am here to defend my Nerdom championship that I have fought so hard to grab. And unlike the Tesseract, I'm not going to let that go. Unless, a TVA shows up and just knocks me the hell out, or, someone brings in a Hulk. Otherwise, I'm here to defend my championship.
All right, so I can promise you no Tesseract. I can't promise you no Hulk. I will get into the rules.
Change my
round number 1.
All right.
Round number 1 works like this. It is the speed round. 60 seconds will be on the clock to answer 8 questions, 4 from your strengths, 4 from Joe's strengths. The clock will now start after I finish asking the first question. You do have unlimited skips, so if you don't know an answer, pass it, and we will go back to it after all 8 questions have been asked. You cannot use your extension or your challenges in this round. They will come back at round number 2. You understand?
I do.
All right, if you're ready.
Hold on.
First question. What does Dumbledore leave to Hermione in his will as found out in Deathly Hallows Part 1?
Pass.
Who plays Quinn, a cocky minion of Frost and Blade?
Donal Logue.
Series 4, Episode 1 of Doctor Who debuted in what year?
Pass.
What 2015 video game movie stars Zachary Quinto and Kieran Hines?
Hitman Agent 47.
How many Trek films feature actor Mark Leonard?
Four.
Who does Diane Lane portray in Man of Steel?
Martha Kent.
Who directed The Last Jedi?
Ryan Johnson.
Who does Spider-Man give the gauntlet to in the final battle of Avengers Endgame?
Pass.
What does Dumbledore leave to Hermione and as well as found out in Deathly Hallows Part 1?
It's a book of fairy tales?
All right. That is the end of your questions. We will now bring in Joe and have a score update and a recap right now. All right, guys. So at the end of round number 1, I have Joe in the lead with 6, Ryan behind with 5. Going into the recap of the questions. What does Dumbledore leave to Hermione in his will as found out in Deathly Hallows Part 1? A copy of the Tale of Beetle the Bard. Who plays Quinn Akakimenia Frost in Blade? Donald Logue. Series 4, Episode 1 of Doctor Who debuted in what year? 2008. What 2015 video game movie stars Zachary Quinto and Kieran Hines? Hitman Agent 47. How many Trek films features actors Mark Leonard? 4. Who does Diane Lane portray in Man of Steel? Martha Kent. Who directed The Last Jedi? Ryan Johnson. Who does Spider-Man give the gauntlet to in the final battle of Avengers Endgame? Is Captain Marvel.
Going to give a quick shout out here to Amara Moses, who in a recent study session asked the Donald Logue question. I missed it at the time. Now it's up there.
There you go. All right, so going into round number 2, which works like this, is the movie quotes round. Both Ryan and Joe have given me a movie or a series of movies that they want to hear a quote from. In order to get 2 points, you need the character and the actor who said the quote. You get 1 right, but miss the other. Your opponent can steal for 1 point. You miss both of them, your opponent can steal for up to 2 points. All right?
Cool.
And since Ryan is behind, we will start with him with his quotes. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
The first series or movie you picked was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4. And your quote is, he woke from the worst nightmare of all, one in which he was the monster.
Ooh. Well, I mean, there's no multiple choice, man. I'm gonna go with Gemma Simmons, played by Elizabeth Henstridge.
That is correct for 2 points.
I was between her or Mac, honestly.
Dude,
Oh.
I'm glad you got it, because the only thing I was going to be able to throw out was Phil Coulson, Clark Gregg. So,
So, yeah, I didn't have her first name. I just had Simmons, but yes, I would have accepted either one.
I ain't challenging it. He could have said any first name, I'd have believed him.
I have to say Gemma and not Jenna, because then it's like, dude.
All right, and your second movie you picked was Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Yeah,
And your quote is, you can look into my soul, but you don't own it.
That is Liu Kang, played by Robin Shue.
That is correct for 2 points.
I got like a Mortal Kombat exhibition match coming up, so I studied all 3 of those movies.
I feel bad for you in the second one.
I have to admit, if you don't pay attention to the dialogue, it's a fun ride.
All right,
If you took in edibles, it's fun.
oh, fair. All right, Joe, your first series you picked or movie was Doctor Who Series 1. And your quote is, but it's like, think about it though, Christmas 1860 happens once, just once, and it's gone. It's finished. It'll never happen again. Except for you. You can go back and see days that are dead and gone, and 100 years, and 100,000 sunsets ago. No wonder you never stay still.
Not a bad life. That would be Rose Tyler, Billy Piper.
That is correct for 2 points.
Episode 3, The Unquiet Dead.
I mean, that's a long, long quote, but I'm like, oh, Christmas and Series 1 clicks.
It's not even the Christmas episode.
No, like you said, The Unquiet Dead. It's with Charles Dickens. It's regarding the rift.
Oh, I had to
Oh,
look up so many guest actors whose names I'd forgotten. I was like, what if they come up? There's Billy Piper. Ah.
All right. And your second movie you picked was Back to the Future Part 3.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. And your quote is, Emmett, do you think we'll ever be able to travel to the moon like we traveled across the countries on trains?
Clara Clayton, Mary Steenburgen.
That was correct. 2 points.
She does a good job for what she's given, honestly, for her
Yeah.
character.
All right, guys. So at the end of round number 2, we have Joe with 10, Ryan with 9, going into the fifth bonus quote, which works like this. I will give both Ryan and Joe one quote in a random category. In order to get 4 points, you need the character, the actor, the movie, and the year, each worth 1 point apiece. All right?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Your category is Marvel movies, and this is non-MCU.
Cool.
And your quote is, see, you don't need to be a superhero to get the girl. The right girl will bring out the hero in you. There'll be 6 seconds on the clock as well.
Oh, poo. Oh my god.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Can I get an extension?
All right, the first extension for Joe. 15 extra seconds will be added to the clock.
Shit.
5.
Yeah, I'm gonna need another one quick.
All right, Joe, using a second extension. Will these 2 extensions help him?
I wrote this on a study recently, and I just realized I got it completely wrong.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down Ryan.
I really could have been off by the year, but I wrote Deadpool, Wade Wilson, Ryan Reynolds, 2015.
You got 3 points.
Ugh.
And Joe.
Same as him, but 16.
That is correct for 4 points.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to get the X-Men timeline right.
All right, guys. So at the end of round number 2, we have Joe in the lead with 14, Ryan behind with 12. Going into round number 3, which is the gain 1, lose 1 round. There will be 4 questions in 4 random categories. You get it right, you get 1 point. You miss it, you lose 1 point. All right.
Cool.
You both will, of course, have 15 seconds, and you will both write down on your whiteboards. All right. If you're ready, movie release dates. It's the first category. What year saw the release of the Ben Stiller superhero comedy Mystery Men? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down Joe.
1999.
That is correct. 1 point. Ryan.
99.
That is correct.
See, you doubted yourself, and then you brought yourself back up.
Yeah.
15 to 13. Going into question number 2, which is Joe's favorite, the DCAU. And your question is, name this DCAU movie from the plot summary. Bruce Wayne is missing. Alfred covers for him while Nightwing and Robin patrol Gotham City in his stead. And a new player, Batwoman, investigates Batman's disappearance. So here's a big hint. It's a Batman movie.
Which one? That is the question.
That's the question. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down, Ryan.
Believe it's Batman Bad Blood.
That is correct for 1 point. Joe.
Didn't have it.
Wow. And just like that, Ryan ties it up 14-14.
You say wow like you're surprised I didn't have it.
Wow.
I am surprised. Alright, it's 14-14 going into question number 3, which is in the category of Back to the Future. In Back to the Future 3, Marty says that he learned to shoot at what specific place? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down, Joe.
7-Eleven.
That is correct, Ryan.
Oh my god, I just did that as a joke. 7-Eleven.
Hell yeah! That is correct. 15-15. Going into your fourth and final question in the category of Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Question is, name 3 of the 4 raptors that Owen works with in Jurassic World. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down, Ryan.
Blue, Delta, and Charlie?
That is correct, Joe.
Helps to know your phonetic alphabet. Blue, Delta, and Echo.
I mean, they also thought, like, I also went with the wrestling mnemonic system of BDC, Beatdown Clan from Impact Wrestling.
Nice. All right, guys. So we are tied 16-16 going to the deep cuts round. It works like this. There is a 2-pointer, a 3-pointer, and a 5-pointer question, each in random categories. They will increase as they go up in point value. You get it right, get 1 point. Nothing happens if you miss it. All right.
Cool.
You will both write it down on your whiteboard, starting in the 2-pointer, which is in the category of Marvel movies. So this is non-MCU. And your question is, what is the name of Mephisto's son in Ghost Rider? This movie. This weird movie. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down, Joe.
Blackheart.
That is correct for 2 points, and Ryan.
Blackheart.
Last second there. Jeez.
Yeah.
It was just going West Bentley, West Bentley, West Bentley. It's like, yeah, I know that. Not the question.
I mean, it's like, is it philosophical Blackheart, or is he just has a literal black heart?
All right, so it's 18-18. Going into your 3-point, which is in the category of Lord of the Rings. Your question is, what were the colors of the 3 banners behind Theoden's throne in Edoras? Edoras. I fucked up that pronunciation. I'm sorry about that.
3 colors. Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down, Ryan.
I just wrote red, gold, and white.
That is incorrect. Joe.
Red, gold, and green?
That is incorrect. The correct answer is red, black, and blue.
Okay.
And your 5-pointer is in the category of geek TV shows.
Oh, shit.
Here we go.
And your question is, in iZombie, what is the name of the drug that when mixed with Max Rager energy drinks can turn the user into a zombie? I've been watching iZombie recently.
Max Rager energy drinks?
Yes.
I mean, I know this is based off a comic property.
Yeah. I actually really like the show. I'll also give you guys 20 seconds for this one. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down, Ryan.
I just wrote Compound Z.
That is incorrect. Joe.
It would be, hell if I know, Zombicil.
Zombicil. That is incorrect. The correct answer is Utopium.
Utopium.
Utopium or Lucky You.
Damn, that's up there with unobtainium. Damn.
Yeah. The same thing.
Nah.
It doesn't pay for
Not
the
gonna
whole
lie, it sounds stupid, but the show is actually really damn good.
No, I take your word on that. I've had many people recommend that show to me. And I'm like, it's CW. I mean, maybe the first 3 seasons I'll love, but what about afterwards?
Still pretty damn good.
Okay.
I'm really glad that question didn't decide this match.
Oh, God.
All right, guys. So it is 18-18 going into the 5th and final round, which is the betting spin around. 6 moves on the wheel, 3 from Joe, 3 from Ryan. On the wheel, I'll spin it 3 times to bring up 3 different questions. You will then bet between 1 and 3 points. You get it right, you gain those points. You miss it, you lose those points. All right.
Cool.
The movies we have on the wheel today are Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock, Hellboy 2019, Thor Ragnarok, TMNT 2007, Superman 78, and Captain America: The First Avenger. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Your spin is in. And it lands on TMNT, which I believe stands for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I could be wrong. Any bets in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Joe.
2.
2. Ryan.
Yeah, I went with 2 as well.
All right, 2 and 2. Your question in TMNT is, what name does Raphael go by when he's a vigilante in this film? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Joe.
The Night Watcher.
That is correct. Ryan.
I didn't put the, but I just wrote Night Watcher.
That is correct.
Yeah, I ain't challenging that. We don't challenge on the thus.
Yeah.
2020, that god-awful year, and that's the score right now. All right. Going into the second spin. You guys ready?
Let's go.
What will it land on? Thor Ragnarok.
Hey, Ryan, you know what I'll say about the score right now? The last line of this movie. It's a tie.
But now let's who's gonna score first?
Ryan, how many points you betting?
You know what? I'm just gonna go big on this, like my boy Loki, and I'm just gonna say 3.
3. Joe.
Yeah, 3.
All right, your question in the category of Thor Ragnarok is: at the beginning of the film, Thor is held imprisoned by who? We're looking for his name. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down, Ryan.
Surtur, son of a bitch.
That is correct. And Joe.
Oh, it's a crown. I thought it was a big eyebrow. Surtur.
That is correct. 23. Going into the potential final spin. You guys ready?
Yep.
And it lands on
Ooh.
Superman 78. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Joe.
3.
3. Ryan.
I said 3 as well.
Either way, we're going to sudden death.
Not necessarily.
There's your A, there's A, B, or C, honestly.
Yep. All right. Going into the question. In Superman 78. What caused Air Force One to crash, resulting in Superman saving it in Superman 1978? We will accept one of few answers. As long as you have the words that I'm looking for. Five.
Can I get more time? Extension?
All right, Ryan. You need a actual repeat or just the extension?
Extension.
All right. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down, Ryan.
I want the very wordy explanation. I just said lightning strike on one of the plane's engines.
That is correct for 3 points. And Joe.
Storm/lightning hits an engine.
That is correct. Guys, 26. We are tied going into sudden death round, and it works like this. I will give you guys random questions in the Nerdom space. First one to miss loses. All right?
I'm so glad that iZombie did not decide this match.
Yep.
All right, guys, are you ready for your first question? Random categories.
Why not?
Here we go. Including mid and post-credit scenes, how many films in the MCU has Mark Ruffalo appeared as Bruce Banner? I'll give you guys 20 seconds for this one. What a match!
Nope.
Five, 4, 3, 2.
I'll use an extension.
All right, Joe using his last extension. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down. We'll start with Joe.
6.
Ryan.
7?
And your winner, and still Nerdom champion of the world, Caramel Mountain, Ryan Payne. The correct answer was indeed 7. 4 Avengers movies: Captain Marvel, Iron Man 3, and Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
What a match, Ryan. 27-26 overtime. How are you feeling, man?
Honestly, I mean, I'm mentally exhausted, but you know what? I'm perfectly fine. I knew when you said I was going to go up against Joe again, I had to pull overnighters on this one. And you know what? I am glad this went to sudden death. Joe once again proved why he is this dangerous at IG trivia. Now, I have yet to get a victory against him in a traditional 3-round match. But either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, because still, me and him going back and forth, this was very good. I swear to God, he comes back again. I'm literally going to be doing all-nighters like every day just to make sure I can hold on to this. And it feels good to finally defend the belt because, I don't know, I've won. I got, like Joe before, I also have 3 belts, but 2 of them I have yet to defend. So I'm very glad I got to defend this one. But even then, seriously, I mean, if Joe comes back again, I'm more than happy to do this. Hell, with this time, we can do like a traditional Iron Man style match where we can just keep going until one of us really starts to tire out.
Maybe that's a potential, but man, you were down into 2 rounds and then really found your stride around 3 and 4, and then it was tied up all through round number 5, and then we went to sudden death, man, and you were able to pull 7. Walk me through the closing moments of the match where you thought about 7 instead of 6.
Well, when you said including mid credits and end credits, I really had to pull down my brain. Easy, obviously, I took the Avengers ones. That was easy. It just came with the outside ones, and I just remembered there was that funny scene in Iron Man 3 where where Tony's treating him like a therapist even though he's not one. And then when he asked for that repeat, when Joe asked for that extension, I just had to double check again, and then I realized I am missing something. And then I realized that mid credit from Captain Marvel when they're playing when they find Nick Fury's pager. So I'm like, that's the one.
Well, man, congratulations on your victory. We move on to our runner-up, Hot Fuzz, Joe Farrelly. Man, nothing to hang your hat on. A 1-point game in sudden death. How are you feeling, man?
Annoyed because bet an extra point, and I keep knowing the DCAU is going to come up, and I keep not studying it, and that's the 2 points right there. It avoids going to sudden death. It's a 2-point swing. Not betting 3 on TMNT, even though I know it. And yeah, flashback to that, watching Captain Marvel, and in my head, I can only picture Steve Rogers, Scarlett Johansson, and Captain Marvel in that scene. I just couldn't place. I thought about it. I had the others. Was thinking about it. I was like, is he in that? But I couldn't remember. Couldn't picture him in that scene. But it is what it is. Again, Ryan came back, fought well. But yeah, I don't think I should be going for the next title in this because I had the belt, lost the belt, and got back to defend the belt, and now I should probably have a road to get back to it.
That's something we can definitely work on, man. You have been great. You are our first champion, of course. Much love to you, brother, always. That has been your runner-up, Hot Fuzz Joe Farrelly. We'll be right back at the desk. All right, guys, if you did enjoy this fantastic Nerdom Championship match, hit that like button, subscribe to Nerd Entertainment Network down below. Guys, our main event, triple threat match for the MTC Singles Championship of the World. Champion Robert Castner defending against Jeremy the Atom Adams and Hollywood Corey Quinto. You do not want to miss this match. Coming up next here at Battlezone 3. welcome everybody to the main event here at Battlezone 3, and this is a triple threat match for the MTC Singles Championship of the World. We have the champion, Robert Castner, taking on Corey Quinto and Jeremy Adams. I'm joined by my co-host, JB3. How's it going, man?
It's going great. I've been backstage for a lot of these matches, and I watched a lot of these matches that's been going down, whether it be between Corey and Robert, Jeremy and Robert, and Robert and Jeremy, all of the things. And I'm just excited about all the combinations. And now we have a three-way. This is going to go down main event style, 5 rounds, but it's going to be a little bit different because there are 3 individuals instead of 2. There's a few rounds that will be extended in a way. Other than that, I'm excited. Jeremy is here. He's going to be first, so we're going to introduce him first. He's one of my favorite players in the league. He came in and just rose to the top immediately. He could have, in that title match he was in, he could have walked out the champion. Anybody could have walked out. Yeah. So he had to come back and get into another title shot immediately after that because, I mean, what else are you going to do when there was a match like that? That was just insane.
11 rounds of overtime.
All right. So, yeah, Hunter, go ahead, man.
All right. Introducing the first competitor. He is Jeremy the Atom Adams.
Hello, guys. Man? It's going pretty good. I'm excited to be back. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to go tonight, but, I can't seem to stay away from these pressure cooker matches. So I'll just try to have some fun with it tonight.
There you go. JP3, explain to him how round number 1 works before you give him his questions.
All right, Jeremy, you've been here before, so you're very familiar with this. This is going to be a speed round. I'm going to give you 8 questions, 1 point per correct answer, 0 points if you miss. You're going to get 60 seconds to answer these questions. If you don't know the answer, you can pass it. We'll get back to the question if we can. 60 seconds begins when I get done asking the first question. Jeremy, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, awesome. I am too. Here you go with your very first question. What 2009 football movie was directed by John Lee Hancock and stars Sandra Bullock?
The Blind Side.
Who plays Malcolm X in 2001's Ali?
Pass.
What was the last film directed by Capra in 1961?
Pass. Can you hear me?
Sorry. Yep. What was the last film directed by Capra in 1961? Who directed 1962's Lawrence of Arabia?
David Lean.
At the beginning of Scream, what does Casey say is her favorite scary movie?
Halloween.
What movie was first directed by Shane Black?
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Who directed a Goofy movie?
Pass.
All right. Who plays
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Who plays?
A Goofy movie is. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I heard what you said. I heard what you said.
Yeah, a Goofy movie. It's Kevin Lima.
Okay. That's actually your time now.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, your time. I gave you a little extra couple seconds because of the little glip.
Yeah, there was some lag.
Yeah, but I gave you a couple extra seconds. But thank you for playing. We're going to send you back, and we're going to get your opponent in here.
And his opponent, he is Hollywood Corey Quinto.
Hi, JB3. Hi, Hunter. How's it going, guys?
How's it going, man?
Good. It's been a hot minute, but yes, and I'm aware that you forgot to say former, and it still hurts to this day. But listen, I can't disrespect Robert. Robert played a great game when we played. I'm here. It's a COVID. It's basically right now I have nothing to lose. The pressure's all on him to see if he can try to keep the belt. But I'm just here to play the game, and if I win the belt, then that's great. But I'm here to have some fun today. Let's have some fun. And let's get some titles. Hopefully.
All right. Before we get there, I got a question for you. First off, it's really good to see you, Corey. I haven't seen you since the last time you played, and I I got a quick question for you. How have you prepared any differently coming into this match versus when you defended the title multiple times? Do you have any kind of different type of preparation, or is it more of the same kind of thing?
I think it's more of just like the same thing because it's like I think when it comes to studying, it's like it's always when I look at playing, it's always about that. You never know what you're going to expect. Like you could study as much movies as you want. Like I could study 25 movies in 1 week, and all of a sudden you end up getting one. So it's like you can't predict how it's going to turn out. You got to go in with what you know, study as much as you can. It's just, but the most important thing is just watch movies and have fun.
Yes, I love that.
I haven't played in a hot minute, so I'm glad to be back. So let's do it.
All right, Corey, I'll explain to you how round number 1 works. It's a speed round, 60 seconds on the clock. The clock will not start until after I finish asking the first question. You have unlimited skips, which means you can pass, and then if we have time at the end, we will come back to the skipped questions. You cannot use your extension or your challenges in this round. They will come back at round number 2. You understand?
I understand completely.
All right, so if you're ready, here we go. What 2009 football movie was directed by John Lee Hancock and stars Sandra Bullock?
The Blind Side.
Who plays Malcolm X in 2001's Ali?
Pass.
What was the last film directed by Frank Capra in 1961?
Pass.
Who directed 1962's Lawrence of Arabia?
David Lean.
At the beginning of Scream, what does Sydney say is her favorite scary movie?
Halloween.
What movie was first directed by Shane Black?
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Who directed A Goofy Movie?
Pass.
Who plays Judd Crandall in 1989's Pet Sematary?
Edward Munson.
Who plays Malcolm X in 2001's Ali?
Yield my time. I'm going to use my time up. Yield my time.
All right.
All right, your time.
All right, so we will now take Corey out and bring in his opponent. And their opponent, he is the reigning, defending MTC singles champion of the world, Robert Ghost Castner.
2 things. 1, I'm being fancy. This is a nice red. 2, Hunter, I thought we talked about this. You forgot about the undefeated part.
I always forget about the undefeated part.
Okay, well, second strike. 3rd one, I don't know what we're going to do.
How's it going, man?
It's going well. It's going well. You're going to see me with wine mouth tonight. So everybody's going to hear that.
That good old wine mouth.
You gotta love good old wine mouth.
Yep.
Ghost, you're here. You're solo, just like everybody else today. You don't have your manager with you.
Indeed.
Life is life and people get busy, but we're still here. We're ready to give you your questions. However, first, I have a question for you.
Indeed.
How have you been, man? What have you been up to?
Doing this stuff just in other places and doing it a lot. So this is, started last week. This was one of, it ended up being like 6 or 7 matches for 2 weeks. So this is like number 6 or 7, I think, at this point. So let's do it.
That sounds good. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick explanation because the viewers already heard it twice and seen it twice. But it goes like this. 8 questions, 1 point per correct answer, 60 seconds to answer them. Nothing if you miss, but if you don't know it, you can pass as many times as you need to. We'll get back to it if we can. The 60 seconds begins when I finish asking your first question. I know you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Here is your first question. What 2009 football movie was directed by John Lee Hancock and stars Sandra Bullock?
The Blind Side.
Who plays Malcolm X in 2001's Ali?
Pass.
What is the last film directed by Capra in 1961?
Pocketful of Miracles.
Who directed 1962's Lawrence of Arabia?
David Lean.
Beginning of Scream, what does Casey say her favorite scary movie?
Halloween.
What movie was first directed by Shane Black?
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Who directed the Goofy movie?
Pass.
Who plays Judd Crandall in 1989's Pet Sematary?
Fred Gwynn.
Who plays Malcolm X in 2001's Ali?
Pass.
Who played or directed a Goofy movie?
Don't know.
All right, that's your time. We're going to go ahead and send you to the back, and we'll come back with all three competitors here today to get the match in round 2.
All right, JB3, at the end of all three competitors' round number 1s, what is the score?
All right, guys, the score is, before I give you the score, I'm going to tell you the correct answers, just so you can know, okay? So The Blind Side was the correct answer. It was directed by John Lee Hancock, and it stars Sandra Bullock. Mario Van Peebles plays Malcolm X in 2001's Ali. Pocket Full of Miracles was the last film directed by Capra. David Lean directed 1962's Lawrence of Arabia. Halloween was Casey's favorite scary movie. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was the first one directed by Shane Black. Kevin Lima directed a Goofy movie, and Judd Crandall was played by Fred Gwynn or Gwynn. I don't know how to pronounce it. One of those. And
Gwen.
Corey with 4, Jerry and Robert 6 apiece. 6 apiece as we head into round number 2. Hunter, why don't you tell everybody that's watching Nerd Entertainment Network how your round 2s work?
Round number 2 works like this. Jeremy, Corey, and Robert have gave me 2 movies apiece that they want to hear a quote from. In order to get 2 points into the character and the actor who says the quote, you get 1 right, but miss the other. Your opponent can steal for 1 point. You miss both of them, your opponent can steal for up to 2 points. And because steals are allowed on this one, when one person goes, you will both have to, the other 2 players will write down their answer on a whiteboard, okay?
Yes.
All right, so since, Corey is in last place, we can start with his round 2 categories.
All right.
Yep, which means Jeremy and Robert should have their whiteboards ready and available for steals.
Yep. So I will give Corey his round 2 questions. All right, so if you're ready, Corey, the first movie you picked was Django Unchained.
Okay.
And your quote is, Petra, sugar, could you take Django there and take him around the grounds here and show him all the pretty stuff?
Is that the actor is Don Johnson and the character is Big Daddy Bennett?
That is correct for 2 points. And your second movie is Finding Nemo. And your quote is, hi there, sorry if I took a snap at you one time. Fish gotta swim, birds gotta eat.
That is Nigel, voiced by Jeffrey Rush.
That's correct, 2 points. All right. So we will now go to Jeremy with his round 2 quotes. JB3, do the honors, please.
I don't mind doing the honors at all. Corey coming in hot, answering both of his correct, going to 8 points, taking the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy, it is now time for you, and we're going to start with your very first movie, if you will, Terms of Endearment. Here's your quote. My wife has a disc problem, and she can't take having any weight on her.
Okay, that's Sam Burns, played by John Lithgow.
It is correct for 2 points. We're going to go to your second one now. And this one, what a classic. The Fox and the Hound. The Fox and the Hound. Look at that. Here is your quote. Listen, good Todd. Either education or elimination.
That's Big Mama, voiced by Pearl Bailey.
That is correct, 2 points.
For 2 points.
I was like,
you.
I'm just sitting here like, why am I even writing?
Yeah,
Why
I
am I?
got that.
Robert, would you agree?
Usually
with me?
how
Like,
this round goes.
This round is like, I'm sitting here like, why am I even writing?
True. I started writing on your first one, and I was like, this is
Yeah,
pointless.
forget it.
All right, so now we go to
gonna
the
take it
champ
I'm
for
gonna take it out.
his quotes. I will go ahead and give him his quotes. Robert, are you ready? All right, your first movie you picked was Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And your quote is, I have a gun in my room. You give me 5 seconds, I'll get it. I'll come down here. Boom. I'll blow their brains out.
Just know I have a whole bag of with your name on it. This is Scott Evil, played by Seth Green.
That is correct for 2 points. And your second movie you picked was Tropic Thunder. And your quote is, let me get this straight. You want me to let my client of 15 years, one of my best friends, die in a jungle alone for some money in the G5?
Do you need the full name? Because I only know the... If that doesn't work, then they're going to get a chance to steal. Because I don't know the full name.
I'm fine with either.
Okay, it's Peck, played by Matthew McConaughey.
That is correct for 2 points.
Great job to all of you.
Yeah.
You all did great. You all did perfect. 10, 10, 8. We're going to go to the final round 2 quote. It is a bonus quote. It's a little different. They're all going to write them down on the whiteboard. We're going to give the quote. They will get a chance for 4 points if they can give the actor's name, the character's name, the release year of the movie, and the movie name itself.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Your category.
Give them their quote.
Yes, their category is going to be in horror thriller. Here is your quote. That'll be our little secret, because people love a good trial. It's like theater. They're dying for it. And I've worked hard to give the audience what they want. 60 seconds.
A very intense situation. The bonus question has always led to a whole bunch of different outcomes.
Definitely. A lot of times it's been a bust for a lot. It's just so random.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 top tier players here.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be in for the long haul.
After last championship match, we need to be ready for that. 30 seconds, guys.
Yeah.
I saw that, by the way. I saw that match, by the way. I hope you guys dug deep on this. I guess you guys really found more questions. I was afraid, based on Jeremy and Robert's performance, I thought you guys were going to run out of questions tonight.
10 seconds left, guys.
I'm going to use an extension.
All right.
Using an extension. 2 remaining.
All right. 10 seconds remaining. Answers 5, 3, 2, 1. Hands down. We will start with Corey.
Okay, I put Cape Fear, Max Cady, played by Robert De Niro, 1991.
That is all incorrect.
Damn.
Jeremy.
All I could come up with was Reversal of Fortune, Jeremy Irons, 1990. It's not right.
That is incorrect. And Robert.
I couldn't remember his character name until right this second. I said Edward Norton, Primal Fear, 1996.
That is also incorrect. The correct answer is Mickey, Timothy Olyphant, Scream 2, 1997.
He says it in that?
What the?
Yeah, because Scream was in my head, but I didn't remember him saying the whole...
I guess I got to retire that stripe in round 1 now. Nobody told me we were going to do quotes from Scream.
Unfair, Hunter. You're asking one of the players' strengths. Unfair.
Well, Jeremy, this happened in Corey and I's match too. So you guys just really love Corey, it seems. I get it.
Yeah, let's just.
He's a nice guy. I get it.
Yeah. Well, that was cool.
All right, so
Watch this be the downfall.
All right, guys. So the scores at the end of round number 2: Jeremy and Robert tied with 10 apiece. Corey behind with 8. Going into round number 3, which is the game 1, lose 1 round. There are 4 questions in random categories. All 3 competitors will write down the answer on their whiteboards. You get it right, you gain 1 point. You miss it or refuse to answer, you lose 1 point. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I will give the last two. JB3, go ahead and give the first two.
All right, gladly, Hunter, gladly for these three titans, these three monsters. They are here. We always say that when we're doing these. We're here. Of course, we're here. Where else are we going to be? Where else are we going to be when these three are playing each other? But here. Guys, your first category and your first question in the Gain One, Lose One round, it is in drama.
Which with this match is right here.
Yeah, definitely. Here's your question. What 2005 film is about journalist Edward R. Murrow?
We may have another 11-12 round overtime on our hands, JB3. We may have to find more questions.
I sure hope not. I mean, just for the sake of people that need to go and do things.
Times. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down, Jeremy.
Good night and good luck.
That is correct. Corey.
And good night and good luck to you too, sir.
That is correct. And Robert.
I added the comma at the end. Good night and good luck.
That is correct.
He added the comma because he's fancy.
He's fancy. He has wine.
Jeremy and I are rebels.
No, Jeremy had it too. He had a comma.
Oh, I didn't notice.
All right, guys, your next category is Tarantino. Tarantino films. I wonder what his first name is. I feel like we're Vince McMahon here, and we're changing people's names around here. Here's your question. Who plays George Spahn, the owner of Spahn Ranch in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
This is in my top 5 favorite Tarantino films.
I love Quinto.
It's I know people love it, but it's 4 or 5 for me. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people love it.
5.
I really like it.
I
3.
like it.
I saw it twice in the theater.
1. Pins down like they needed it. We're going to go to you first, Corey.
Fun fact, was supposed to be Burt Reynolds' final role, but unfortunately he passed away, so they gave it to Bruce Dern.
Robert.
Yep.
Old Man Krukin.
And
Yep.
Jeremy.
Yes, correct.
Adam. Bruce Dern. Adam. That is correct. Good job to you guys. 12, 10, 12. As Hunter is going to give you question number 3.
All right, guys. Your next category is actors/actresses. And your question is, what 2 movies cast includes both Ben Affleck and Will Smith? Ooh.
And I'll give a little bit extra time because they have to write 2 movies.
Yeah, fair.
Fair time. Be fair to the guys. They're always fair to us. Schedule.
2 A+ level actors coming up in a match with 3 A+ players.
Yes. No Daniel Bryan's here.
Nope. A lot of wrestling references in this movie match.
5. It's me.
I'm gonna need another
3.
extension.
All right. Another extension.
Extension? Yeah.
I used it. You guys.
Yeah, we got an extension.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I gotta love extensions.
Yep. Especially since with the ticker at the bottom, we're not having to read it every time someone wants to use a repeat. Ben Affleck and Will Smith.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pins down. Robert?
I knew one for sure. I didn't know the other. It's a Jersey Girl and Collateral Beauty.
That is
All right.
incorrect.
Jeremy.
All I could come up with was Jersey Girl. I think it might be that weird one with Colin Farrell.
And Corey.
That would be, you see Batman and Deadshot fighting in the beginning, Suicide Squad and Jersey Girl.
Come on.
That is correct.
You don't remember? He's in the beginning.
Yeah.
When he's the one that arrests Deadshot.
Wow. And just like that, just
Yeah,
like
I
you
know,
knew it
boys.
was gonna happen.
Tie me up, boys. Tie me up.
We have a tie game, 11 up.
Uh,
I feel like a school kid saying that.
Woo! And your final question in the game one, lose one round. Isn't horror/thriller.
Christ. Okay.
And your question is, in Get Out, who saves Chris at the end of the movie?
You need the character name.
Yes.
Do you need the to clarify? To clarify what Rob said earlier? Do you need the full name?
No.
Okay.
We are tied 11 apiece.
Man, this is already turning out to be crazy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down, Jeremy.
I can't remember his name. I said DL. It's something like that.
Corey.
Is the character Ron?
That is incorrect. Robert.
Oh,
Damn
what
it!
is
I
it?
said Ron too because it's Rod. Fucking A.
It is indeed
Yeah.
Rod.
Fucking A. I knew it.
Yeah, it is Rod.
Oh, man.
10,
Oh.
10, 10. At the end of the gain one, lose one round, we go into round number 4, which is the deep cuts round. JB3, explain how this round works.
All right, this is going to be very interesting because it's going to be 3 questions and they're going to be deep cuts. If anybody doesn't know what that means we're going to cut deep into the movie to try to find some difficult questions. We're going to have 3 of them. The first one's going to be worth 2 points. The second one will be worth 3 points. And in typical Schmodown fashion, the third one will be worth 5 big points. A lot of games have been won in this round in particular.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be very, very exciting. I'm going to go ahead and give you the first and the last question. Hunter can give you the second question.
Yep,
He can be the sandwich meat today.
in the middle.
Yippee.
All right, guys. I hope you're ready. 10 apiece. We're all tied up, and your first category is action adventure. Action adventure. Here's your question. Who plays Alulio in John Wick? I probably butchered that name, but
I wouldn't have said it any better, so.
I'm glad you can see the word.
John Wick.
Yeah,
Don't.
Leo. Yeah, it's pretty close.
There we go. Don't
Tell
fuck
Leo,
with his
okay.
dog.
No.
Or his
Don't
car.
fuck with his.
Yeah,
Where's car?
don't do any of that.
3, 2, 1.
His house, it's okay though.
Pins down, Corey.
John Leguizamo.
That is correct. Robert.
Luigi Mario, John Leguizamo.
That is right. Jeremy.
John Leguizamo.
That is correct.
12, 12, 12.
All right,
Wow.
your next question for 3 points is in the category of wrestlers in movies. What are the odds?
Payne.
Okay. And your question is, which film featured the highest number of pro wrestlers in the cast?
Ooh.
Making you think about this one, guys.
That reaction though.
I love it. I love the reactions. Come on, it's wrestlers in movies. It's me. I had to put it in there somewhere.
5, 4,
3.
3, 2, 1. All right, guys. Pens down. We're
We
going
will
to go
start-
to you first, Robert.
Robert.
I had a couple in mind. I said Ready to Rumble.
That is incorrect. Jeremy.
I said Ready to Rumble.
Corey.
Are we sure it's ready to rumble?
Ooh, the correct answer is The Wrestler with 27 wrestlers.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Fighting with my family was going to be the
Look at that. Tell.
It's
Great
still
question.
12, 12, 12. Going
Well,
All right.
to the 5
And guys,
winner
yes,
question.
I'm gonna.
Oh, good. What's Rod's brother's name?
Yes.
Rod.
How'd you know?
For 5 big, huge points. Here's your question. In A Haunting in Connecticut, who plays Wendy?
Damn it.
I do love me some horror and some thrillers.
You definitely do.
Maybe like borderline obsessed, but
I think I actually know this, and if I don't, I'm going to be very sad about it because I think my wife and I have watched this movie.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I definitely
And-
don't, Robert.
I think this is going to make the game.
Jeremy.
I just threw a name out there, Radon Mitchell. I don't know.
Corey.
I just put is this a classic movie? I put Vera Miles.
No, it's
Incorrect. And Robert.
I could be thinking about the wrong thing. Virginia Madsen?
You were thinking about the wrong thing.
Damn it.
What is it?
It's Amanda Crew.
Amanda Crew.
Oh,
all right.
Amanda Crew. 12, 12, 12. We still have a
guys,
tie.
we are literally lighting up a storm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is a champions match. How did we get here?
I don't know.
Hey, we're doing
I
great.
make the questions a little bit harder.
No, you're doing a great job at it.
Yeah.
All right.
We're doing great.
12, 12, 12. Going into round number 5. JB3, explain the 5th and final round.
The 5th and final round, Hunter, is the betting round. You familiar with this? Each of these individuals here, these titans, we said it, these monsters, these legends, maybe, have picked 2 movies apiece to bring 6 movies on a wheel. We're going to spin the wheel. It's going to land on a movie. When it lands on a movie, these guys are going to place a bet from 1 to 3 points. If they get the question that follows correct, they'll gain those points. And you know, if they miss it, they'll lose those points. We're going to have at least 3 of these questions. I don't think there will be any mathematical eliminations, but if there is, we'll stop it.
I don't know how that's possible.
Well,
And if-
we're
and
gonna
if- and if
still be
we-
fine.
Now, here's the thing. Now, this is very important in this round because if for some reason at the end of the third question, we have a tie between 2 individuals that are winning, we will continue into a sudden death. And then after that, the person who has the least amount of points would be unfortunately eliminated from the match, and the 2 tied players would go into the sudden death to find out who the winner is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
However, right now it looks like we could have a 3-way tie because we have a 3-way tie heading into this round. Like Hunter said, 12, 12, 12. Here we go. If you guys want to know the movies that are on the wheel: Money Train, Jaws, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Space Jam, Taxi Driver, and Popeye, the one from 1980.
Yes.
Mhm.
Not the cartoon, because we don't do that here.
Thank God. There's
And
enough cartoons on here.
your spin is in. And it lands on Jaws.
All right, go ahead and place your bets, guys.
I will give them this question in the category of Jaws.
Full disclosure, I put my bet on before we started.
Of course,
I bet you
of course you did.
I'm pretty sure. I think we all did.
do. 1, Jeremy.
3.
3, Robert.
3.
Corey. Of course.
Let's be tied still.
Oh my god.
I guess we're going to stay tied, or I'm going to fall apart
Either
like I had
way.
last time.
All right. And your question in the category of Jaws is: what is the full name of the first victim of the shark attack at the beginning of this film? We're looking for first and last. We're going to need a bigger boat or a bigger stream for this match.
4, 3, 2, 1.
We'll
And
start
down.
with Jeremy.
I forgot her last name, guys. I just said Chrissy Wilson.
That is incorrect. Corey.
Chrissy Watkins.
That is correct for 3 points. And Robert.
I didn't have it.
Oh!
I almost
wow.
What's
put
her name?
Watkins.
What's your name? Chrissy.
Almost
Where are we
put
going?
Watkins.
Swimming.
Wow, what a big swing in
15-9-9.
points. 15 points. Corey takes the lead as we go into the second spin.
Spin is in. It lands on the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
All right.
That's in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Robert.
3.
I'm
Corey.
gonna play this one. I'm gonna play this one safe. I'm gonna go 1.
Jeremy.
3.
All right. JB3, give them their questions in the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
All right. I hope you guys are ready to hear a whole paragraph for a question, because here it is. I might be talking for a while. Who voices Tigger in this film?
Oh my God, it was so long.
That's what she said.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew you were going to say it.
Of course, of course.
Corey taking a big lead
This-
after that Jaws.
I don't know, man. That was good, but let's see what happens. Oh,
Yeah, I saw that.
Seen that.
I
5.
should have let you guys know. I
Four,
should have let you know. There was
3,
thunder and lightning, so my connection was really
2.
wonky, but we're good.
All right,
Yeah,
hands down, everybody.
not bad.
We're going to go to you first, Corey. What do you have?
I just wrote a name down. I said Tony J.
That is incorrect.
Robert.
I don't remember if I got this right. Brad Winchell.
Ooh, so close.
Ooh, you are so close. That is incorrect. Jeremy.
I thought this guy might have come up for the Fox and the Hound as well. It's Paul Winchell.
That's right.
Paul Winchell is correct for 3 points. 12,
Wow.
14, 6.
Yes.
Ooh.
Robert went down to 6. Jeremy, 12. Corey, 14. Third question.
Your spin is in.
All right, Jeremy. Whatever happens, dude. Good luck.
Great game, Corey.
Stop,
And
stop,
you too.
stop.
Taxi driver. Taxi driver. I will be giving you guys this question. That's in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jeremy.
3.
Corey.
Here we go. 3.
Robert.
Not that it matters. 3.
I love
And-
that. I love that so much.
Love it.
Awesome.
And your question is, what is the name of Iris's pimp in this film?
Hunter, just the nickname, right?
Yes, that is just fine.
Yeah.
The intensity, the back and forth. 5, 4,
I'm using my
3,
extension just because.
2. All right, you use an extension?
You know.
All right.
The extension is it.
The extension is. What a back and forth match.
This is very fantastic. Very fantastic. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Hands down. Just for fun, go to you first, Robert.
I couldn't remember. I really screwed the pooch on this. I said Sonny.
All right. Jeremy
Sport.
and Corey.
That is correct. Corey.
The belt is Robert. You were a great champion, and thank you for keeping that belt warm for me. It's time to come home because it's sport. Look, come on home, sport. Come on home.
Not over
JB3,
yet,
get the honor.
Corey. Is it?
And
Is it over?
Your
Oh, it is.
winner and new MTC heavyweight champion, Hollywood, Corey Quinto. congratulations, champ. You came back and you won the title back. You had a crazy final round when you lost the title, and it looks like we had a crazy final round today. How are you feeling?
Excited. Well, also, I'm so glad that this time, you know what it was last time? That was, if you recall, when I lost the title, those were all three of those movies that I lost on were movies that I requested. Oh, there's an echo in here, by the way. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Anyways, they were all movies that I requested that I had so much confidence in, but it actually was my downfall. So this time what I did was I went back to the drawing board, decided like what was the one thing I had to do? I had to pay attention to the movies that I love, wrote so much notes. And the funny thing is, I always knew for a long time it was Christy. I would never have gotten last week Watkins because I always know it because she just says, "What's your name?" Christy. Where are you going? Swimming. I wrote down Watkins last week, and if I didn't write that, this could have been whole different. So I'm glad I went back to the drawing board. Jeremy, you played a great game. Robert, you were an excellent champ. But I'm just glad that Invisible Belt is home. The belt is back home.
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
You were losing. You had the lowest score coming out of the first round. Coming out of the second round, coming into the third round, you tied it up. You were playing from behind pretty much until you tied it up, and then it was the final round there that you swung ahead with that big point swing, and that's what really ended it for you or sealed the deal. Jeremy,
I was actually going to say, well, the funny thing is, the funny thing you say that, I always look at this as like the great Dan Murrell, who recently has always come back from behind, but always wins. Like even recently when he played Adam Collins was behind, but it's always about I always look at this like even when you're down, you never give up. And that's all that matters. You stay in the pocket. And that's why you gotta stay in the pocket and you never give up.
And that's a definitely good words there. Jeremy Adams, this is, I believe, your second time match. You were close. You got the last question correct, but because of the point scores and how it went and, Corey's bet, you ended up having a lower score than him, but all in all, you still played a fantastic match. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I'm a little bummed because I actually had in my head Chrissy Watkins. I was like Watkins, Wilson, and I just psyched myself out of it. I should have asked for a repeat, thought about it a little more, and I would have gotten there because that is something I looked up. I just unfortunately didn't look it up like today. And I've been studying a lot of other stuff, so it was a little foggy in there. And, Jaws is one of my top 5 favorite movies, so it's always a bummer to miss on something you love. It happened to me last time on Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which is literally my favorite comedy, and I missed a question on it. So twice in a row, movies I love end up costing me the match, and that hurts. But I'm proud of my performance overall. I think, I hung in there. It was a rare opportunity to actually get something right in round 3 or in the final round that the other guys missed. That never happens for me, so that felt good. Yeah, it's a good match. And you know what? Corey's a great champion. I'm proud of him, but let's get me back in the ring, get another match. And I feel pretty confident that if Corey and I go at this again, one-on-one, that it could be a different story. I put a little more time into my study and refocus, kind of get myself in a better mindset when those Chrissy Watkins moments come, and this could be a different story. And that's a good feeling because I feel kind of energized, and it's not like I don't like Corey and I want to take his prize away, but it's more like I feel like we match each other well, and I've never gone mano-a-mano with you, Corey. So it's something that I think would be really cool, and I look forward to it. And I just want to say, Robert, every time I play you, it's an absolute pleasure, and you're the man, and I'm really proud of everything you've been doing, buddy. And don't feel bad at all, please.
Yeah, great job, Robert. Also, yes, I would love that challenge. Everyone says, does the champ back away? Chip does not back away from challenge. I do accept.
Oh, okay.
I like that. All right.
But first, You do have to, well, you have to. I don't know what the rules are going to be to get back if you get the title, another title shot right away. But if
I'll get back there, Corey. Don't worry, I'll find a way.
Yeah, but if it were up to me, I would say let's go now. If it were up to me, I would say yes.
Well, we could do that. We could do that, but right now, I want to give time to. Now we got to say the former champion, Robert. You were leading in the first round. It's kind of interesting, your gameplay, because normally your biggest strength is round 3, and it looked like today it went the opposite for you, especially with when you won the title. That was a huge round 3 for you. I know that it's disappointing. However, you know that you have reached legendary status in this league already, and I could see you contending for a title at any point in any time. Throughout all of the round 3 BS that you don't like with the whole performance, how are you feeling?
Yeah, you're right. I played the exact opposite of the game I usually play. I watched all these movies. I didn't take notes for them. I've been having to do other things and taking massive amounts of notes for other things. I had things in my head of what could be the questions in these particular movies that you asked. They weren't the questions that got asked. My brain shut down. Not one of my movies came up. So that's a bummer. It is what it is. I mean, I won the title off Corey. I defended against Jeremy. So, I mean, everything's just evened up now as far as I'm concerned. So it is what it is. Yeah, I'm disappointed, but I'm in a lot of different things. So something's going to fall by the wayside a little bit. So this just ended up being the case.
I can totally understand that when you got a lot of hats that you got to wear and you got a lot of voids to fill.
Yeah.
But I still think that you're one of the best MTC players that we'd ever seen in here. And I would be excited to watch a singles match between any combination of you three. I would be excited to watch another three-way between you guys. I just think you guys are all top-notch players, and it was an honor to be involved with this match. So thank you guys for letting me be here. Thank you, Hunter.
Of course. Yeah, man, this was completely fun. 3 legends going at it. Congratulations to Hollywood Corey Quinto for regaining the championship, the first 2-time MTC champion. Yeah, man, I can't wait to see what happens next.
I look forward to it. It's great to be back on top. And congratulations. And despite all, congratulations. You played a great game, Robert and Jeremy. Same to you. You guys played great. Don't hang your heads up high. You guys were such great players to play today. I had a lot of fun.
Definitely. All right, guys. So if you did enjoy this, hit that like button, subscribe to Nerd Entertainment Network down below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.
Bye, everyone.